The next thing that we are going to hear about is impact of NLP in AI-powered bank. The next speech is reserved for the gold partners of this year's conference, NLP Digit, who have significantly contributed to achieving everything we envisioned. This marks another milestone in our long-standing collaboration, and we hope for many more to come. Get ready to explore the transformative role of NLP in the realm of AI-powered banking. Joining us are Branislava Todorovic, NLP Digit Data Science Team Lead, and Mirella Miskic, Executive Director of Contact Center 24/7 at NLP. Dr. Branislava Todorovic and his team lead data scientist brings her expertise in NLP. Her extensive research focuses on building language processing tools and models using machine learning techniques. Together with Mirella Miskic, they will discuss NLP's innovative sentiment analysis and topic classification models. These models revolutionize client service by empowering NLP's contact center to prioritize emails efficiently, optimize resource allocation, and ensure top-notch client satisfaction. Branislava is going to address us online, and Mirella is going to join later in the presentation. So I'm asking Branislava to begin. I hope you can hear us loud and clear.
I can hear you very well, and I hope this is also true in your case. Can you hear me and see me?
Yeah, we're hearing you quite well.
Okay, great. Well, hello everyone. This is Banking Group calling. So thank you for the introduction. Then maybe I will just briefly say yes. So I am leading a team of data scientists in IT company NLP Digit. I gained my PhD in 2020 at the Faculty of Mathematics. And the area of my thesis was from the natural language processing, which has been my area of research for almost 8 years now. And yes, there on the stage is Mirella Miskic, Executive Director of Contact Center. Before we proceed with our presentation, let me first say that I had a strong wish to be today with you there in Sava Center and to give this presentation there on the stage with my dear colleague. However, you cannot see my tummy. I'm not that fat, actually. I'm just eating for two. And this is why I would also like to thank the organizers for enabling me to still be able to share about some cool AI-related stuff that we are doing in NLP Digit, NLP actually, remotely. It's not really usual that the banking group follows state-of-the-art in AI. And our task today is to give you a little sneak peek into what is going on regarding AI, especially natural language processing, in the largest banking group in Southeast Europe. So by the end of this talk today, you will learn who we are and what gives us right to claim that we are AI-powered. Then why is NLP so important for a bank, and then specifically for us? And we will focus on two specific models. So models for classification of topic and sentiment in emails sent from banks' clients to the contact center agents. It's not that easy usually to find a business value in AI. However, we do have a great business in our banking group, and later Mirella will tell you about the benefits contact center has from these two models and some others. So who are we and why do we exist? Today's research shows that data is driving the business, and our group recognized this. So since April last year, we have been building a sort of a competence center in our IT company NLP Digit, which at the moment has 8 great data scientists. And in total, in the whole group, which spreads across 6 countries, there are almost 40 data scientists. And our mission is to support NLP Group on its way to become fully AI-powered. So we serve to this constant growth and development by reducing repetitive tasks, recognizing weak points of business, and equipping them with latest data science solutions, targeting marketing, supporting our employees with cutting-edge technologies, and of course, giving our best to make our clients satisfied and to stay loyal to us. And this is us. So together in the office or remotely on Teams, we see ourselves as reliable partner today and an innovative leader tomorrow. So why is NLP so important? As most of you probably know, NLP, that's natural language processing, represents computer processing of human languages. In its everyday operations, banks generate vast amounts of NLP-related data, such as emails, contracts, letters, chats, even calls, and many more. And there is a wide area of possible applications of NLP in the bank. Content summarization, advanced search, media monitoring, calls transcription, document processing, virtual assistants, many more. And at the moment, there are more than 15 NLP models under development. So as announced previously, we will today contribute a special attention to 2 models for email classification. So how did we get from an idea to the models in use? Last year, the group recognized the huge potential of NLP, and together with business side, we met, and after several iterations or brainstorming sessions, we created a long list of use cases, and especially with the contact center, we chose 2 models that had at the moment the top priority, and that is to develop 2 classification models for the classification of topic and sentiment in emails. So that was in the winter, and just a few months later, since March this year, these models have been running in production. And the procedure looks like this. So when a user sends an email, so we call it KC topic. So this is the model for topic classification. This model assigns 1 of the 10 topics to the email. Next, the KC senti. So KC, this is abbreviation for contact center. Topic senti refers to the task of the model. So next, this sentiment model, KC senti, assigns positive, negative, or neutral sentiment to the email. And finally, there is a rule mechanism that determines the priority of the email based on the topic or sentiment. For example, spam emails are a low priority, reclamations or emails with negative sentiment, they have highest priority. And this is how it looks in practice. So these are screenshots of a desktop application that KC uses for handling of emails. We hid personal information, so let me show you. So this was the email of a sender, then the subject, the body, and this part here on the bottom. So this yellow face indicates that all these emails have neutral sentiment, and then this third tag represents the topic. So we can see it was accounts, other, loans, cards, loans, and so on. And here on the left, you can see how it looks when agent open a specific email. So this red angry face here indicates that this email carries a negative sentiment. And let me tell you more about the data used to train these models. The data set consisted of 5,000 emails that were manually annotated by the contact center agents. And so with respect to topics, and in this case, we chose these 10 topics: accounts, cards, mobile app, and so on, and 3 topics for the sentiment analysis. So the common problem, the positive, negative, neutral. And there is obviously class disbalance. And this is just the consequence of the situation in practice. Simply, clients usually contact contact center mostly regarding their accounts, cards, or they have reclamations, or they want to ask something about the mobile app, and not so often about, for example, job offers or internships. This is, for example, the other category. There is also this phishing report. So this represents the case when somebody attempts phishing and then clients forward these emails to the contact center agents. And then they ask, were this you or was it somebody else? And this, as you can see, can happen a lot. And in the case of sentiment analysis, well, most of the emails just don't carry any sentiment. They're neutral. And there are, of course, with positive and negative, but less. We train these two models in parallel. So as I explained further, we received many emails, but after some cleaning and also some filtering, for example, for these models, we were focusing only on Slovenians, so Slovenian language. So we only kept the emails in Slovenian. And then we remained with 5,000 emails. Then we asked our annotators to do the annotation. After that, we did the cleaning and anonymization. So the cleaning, for example, there was a lot of generic content, such as sent from iPhone at the bottom of the email. That is being added generically, and it does not affect the model. And it's very similar with anonymization. So we don't deal with any personal data, personal names, phone numbers, email addresses, account numbers, or anything. This simply is not our business, and it does not affect the model. And then we take our magic hat out of the closet and we do all sorts of magic tricks. So, for example, we were first betting on fine-tuning to BERT models that exist for Slovenian. We also experimented with traditional machine learning models, such as SVMs, XGBoosts. We, of course, also tried with deep learning architectures, LSTMs, RNNs, CNNs. So it did provide some results, but we were not still that satisfied. And then we realized that simply the problem was always in this class disbalance. And even though we tried all sorts of techniques for data augmentation or parameter tuning, we still were not satisfied. And then we realized that our problem needs a specifically tailored solution. And that is not to model all 10 topics at once or all 3 sentiments at once, but rather cut the problem into smaller pieces. We call these waterfall approaches, but the explanation will come in a minute. What seemed to be a hint that we were on the right track were the results of data visualization. So, for example, for the topic classification, we projected our emails into 2D using TF-IDF factorization and TSNE algorithm for dimensionality reduction. And then when we projected into 2D, we concluded that there were some categories that were obviously easily separable from others. So, for instance, this phishing report category, as you can see, somehow just forms separate clusters from other categories. And we can explain this easily. Those are just several templates of emails forwarded to the contact center with a usually very similar comment. However, there are cases that are not that easily separable. So, for example, this other category can be related to many things. And also this category abuse or reclamations. So when people have reclamations, it can have something with the card or a mobile app or account. So even for annotators, it was hard to say sometimes, is it a reclamation or is it a card? It can be both. And then we had a rule, for example, that reclamation is stronger category. And this is when we came up with an idea of having the so-called waterfall inference. So it's not an official term, it's something that we coined. And here we proposed, in this waterfall 1, we proposed to have 3 separate classifiers. So, for example, the first one, we call it KC major. This one decides about the classes that are we have the most instances in the data set that are most probable to be, so like accounts, cards, click, reclamation. Then we have this KC minor that models these classes that are not so frequent and therefore not that probable, loans, others, spam, and so on. And the third one is this Casey fee, which is the binary classifier, deciding whether an email represents a phishing report or not. And then we would stack them. Of course, in the 0 layer, we have this language detector, because in practice, emails that are not in Slovenian, they are immediately being forwarded to the agents that reply to emails that are not in Slovenian. So if an email is in Slovenian, we check whether it's a phishing report. If yes, okay, we have our decision. If not, then we check, is it one of the major classes, more probable classes? If yes, we have our decision. If not, then we see which one of the minor classes. In the waterfall 2, this is very similar approach, but we have even more smaller classifiers. So, for example, abuse and reclamations, they're modeled separately. We tried for these classifiers many different models and their combinations, but what turned out to be the best were the support vector machines stacked. And I will not now go into many details about the results. And if you are interested, you can read in detail in this research article that we published in Bulgaria in scientific conference, Recent Advances in Natural Language Processing. So this was this September. But okay, all in all, you can see, so the blue is waterfall 1, the green is waterfall 2. And with respect to all categories, waterfall 1 outperformed waterfall 2 in all cases on this data set. General agents feel is that the model predicts 90% of the, in practice, of the emails correctly, their topics. But Mirella will soon tell you more about the general model efficiency. For the case of the sentiment model, dubbed Casey Senti, we also, to a certain extent, use the so-called waterfall idea. And here, beside class imbalance, we have other challenge as well. And this is the so-called semantic challenge. It turned out that even though positive emails were the minor class, they were quite easy to classify, actually. And this is because when people write positive feedback, they usually sit down and invest some time. They're usually longer and they have very similar vocabulary. While with the negative emails, this was really challenging. And the reason for this are all the nuances of negativity. And I will show you, because there are cases of openly negative sentiment, but this happens rarely, maybe 1 in 500 emails. And more often there are this, for example, sarcasm or passive aggressive tone. So for example, I'm waiting for 2 days already for your response. It would be nice if you'd for once tell me whether my physical presence at the branch is necessary. Or you're charging more than other banks for the account maintenance. So even for us humans, is this negative or neutral? Okay, we know positive emails are not that problematic. Neutral, they're the major class. And then we were really brainstorming and trying different things. And then we realized that we could solve our problem by ignoring our problem. what I'm thinking here. So in this waterfall model, we don't model negative emails actually. So we have here 2 binary classifiers. The first one predicts whether an email carries positive sentiment or not. We give priority to the positive emails because they were simply easier to predict because of their structure. And for the negative class of this first submodel, we call it Casey Senti pause, are neutral and negative emails. So in the process of inference, so this model sees an email. If it says the email is positive, okay, it's positive. If not, well, it's neutral or negative. And then we go to the next step, to this Casey Senti new. So this model's neutral emails. Here, the positive class are neutral emails and the negative class are negative emails. And if during the inference, this model says that the email carries a neutral sentiment, Okay, so we have a confirmation from the previous step, and we know that the email is neutral. If not, okay, it's not neutral, it's not positive, well, then it has to be negative. And here we also conducted experiments with different algorithms, and similarly as in the previous case, support vector machines were what we decided for eventually. We haven't still figured out how to tame these negative emails to the point that we can say that we are really satisfied. So the best performing model had satisfying F1 scores for the positive and neutral classes, so positive and neutral, and still there is still a lot of improvement for the negative ones. We presented this in June this year at Women in Data Science conference, and we received a lot of positive feedback and also suggestions, very useful ones. And what I can just tell you now is that we do have an idea that we are working on, and that is to change the perspective and lower the bar what is negative. So we have now many more negative emails in the data set, but I will not tell you more details, maybe next year. I will now like to invite Mirella to tell you more about the business benefits of these two models that they brought to the contact center.
Okay, hello from my side. Hello, Branislava, for your great presentation. I always like to hear my colleagues from Digit Center because the terminology that they use and the content that they are explaining is often not so familiar to me. It seems so exotic for the user side, but it has also a lot of benefits for us. So I will explain our challenges, our goals, and benefits of the model that Branislava explained. But first, let's start at the beginning. Just a quick intro. Who are we? NLP Contact Center, 24/7, the biggest one in Slovenia. And we are not an ordinary contact center, for sure, because in the last few years we are transforming into video bank. So this means that besides some care and support business for our customers, we can for sure often also finance consulting for some simple products like personal loans, cards, insurance products, deposits, etc. We are human behind digital, human banking consultants behind digital, and we try to deliver excellent digital experience to our customers. For that, we for sure need our Digit team. In last few years, we have 1.3 million contacts, and email interactions represent 20% of all contacts, with 40% growth if we compare it to the previous year. So our challenge in the beginning of this year was how to manage this written communication, email contacts, and we were also struggling with a lot of manual work. So our first challenge was how to unify all contacts into one application, and we did it. We put it in our Nexus application, and we also have a lot of work with our consultants. So we specialized our team to be more efficient and quick in the email communication. So the first and the third challenge was easy for us. We can do it internal, but the second one was not so easy. So we went to our colleagues from Digit team, and we put our heads together, and of course they had a solution. So our main objective of this model was to improve management of the email communication, real-time recognition of topics and sentiment of emails, like already Branislava explained, collecting relevant data, and for of course better customer experience and further learning and development. Because now we have the model, but in a way we are at the beginning, because this model has to learn a lot. And this slide for me is the most important one, because I already talked about challenges, about our goals, but the model brought a lot of positive effects, even more than we expected. We have now full control under our email communication. We are more efficient, and we have better customer experience, and not only customer experience, also employee experience, because our manual labor is lower. Also, I have to, so our spam does not reach our consultant, so this is really nice for them. 90% of all emails are automatically assigned to the right consultants. This is also connected to the sales team, because sales leads are now dedicated to sales consultants, and we have our win rate is higher, it is around 30%. And of course, last but not least, we extended our knowledge about NLP, which is also very important for our bank. One more information, our NPS reached to 57, which is of course a great result. And further steps, so I already said that we are at the beginning of this AI trip with our Digit colleagues. And we are, of course, looking forward for new achievements, but for sure we will develop this model even further, establish a feedback loop on this model to learn from new emails, and improve the spam identification. But we have also some new and other ideas for the future to upgrade this model with ChatGPT, and implementation of this kind of model into other sites and teams of NLB Bank. In the meantime, we started developing with our colleagues second model. This one could bring even more benefits to contact center and our video bank. And this model is about contact volume prediction for better capacity management, which means that we would like to know, based on the historical data, how much contacts can we expect on certain channel of communication channel, and based on that to dedicate number of our consultants. And just for the last thing that I would like to say from the user business side, I already said at the beginning that this AI terminology and all the things and content that we are talking about somehow is often for the user side seems exotic. But for sure we know as a bank that this is new electricity, for sure, and our future could be more convenient and easier for us, not only for us at the business side, but for our customers, because we can deliver them better customer experience, which is our ultimate goal. And for that, for sure, I think that collaboration between user and digit side is crucial. So the secret is to gang up on the problem and not on each other. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's see if there are any questions. I don't see any here. Yes, there's one.
Hello, I have a question for Branislava. So how do you handle emails that have both positive and negative statements in the content? So if the model that you showed, if you first do some kind of filtering, what happens with maybe just one negative statement? So maybe the whole messages have a positive tone, but there may be a statement with some negative connotation. Do you process that information, and how?
I would say that is rather the question for annotators, right? And it's a hard decision, and it's not the only case when the annotators are indecisive. I wouldn't maybe say that there is a general answer. Maybe just ask several people and then see what is the majority of the votes.
Okay, thank you. But as I understood, if I understood you well, so you are processing one message as one entity. So you are not doing any kind of processing paragraphs or parts of the message, right?
Yes.
Okay.
One email as a whole.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks for your question.
Thank you. Any other questions? Maybe I can ask just one. I mean, what is going to be your next step after the contact center? You said that you're planning to introduce it into other parts of NLP. So where do you think what next? Who will be the first to start using this?
Okay, so this is a question for me, I would say we have several contact center in the group, and that we plan to implement these models for, but also any other sector that has many emails. This is applicable. Private banking, for example. Yeah.
Thank you, Mirella. Do you want to add?
No, nothing.
Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, any other questions? If not, thank you, Branislava and Mirella. I will present Mirella with the certificate, and Branislava will get
Thank you
her
very
own,
much.
yes.
Thank you.
And thank you for the lecture.
Thank you.